independent Nigeria. And welcome to Randoms, where trends meet talk and, of course, interesting discussion. Well, permit me to say this is the independent edition of Randoms. I am your host, Sharon Ajay, and of course, before I could even mention, you already know the person with me in the studio. Oh God, Chuku. You know, I feel so sad that we are not repping the country well. I wish we were wearing a white.
You're doing that already.
Well,
you have a touch of green,
yes,
so I think you're doing good.
Yeah, but I can't even spot any white or green. What is going on? Except your teeth, you know.
All that matters is I'm a Nigerian by heart. Like, I carry everything concerning Nigeria in my head. I love Nigeria. It is my country. Yeah. And I'm patriotic.
Of course you are, of course. Well, Nigeria is 64, and that is amazing. 64. Anybody born in 1960? 64 year right now, wow, would applaud you because, hey, it is not easy.
Yes, it should be a grandma or a grandpa by now.
Yeah,
so Nigeria is like a grandmother or grandma.
They are, well, literally, they are. Well, it's Nigerians' Independence Day. And of course, Trust Ogochukwu, she took to the streets to get opinions of Nigerians concerning the independence celebration. So, let's go.
Hello! Today, Nigeria is celebrating her 64 years independence. Nigeria is turning 64 today. And trust us to go to the streets how they feel concerning the independence. It is 64 whooping years. Well, my name is Ogochukwu Mobuno. Follow me.
Nigeria clocking 64 have been really, I say wonderful. But the other way around, not encouraging, because if I were to rate Nigeria at 64, I don't think I will even say that Nigeria is a toddler. It's not even up to a toddler, because we are politically way backward beyond 1984 thereabouts, because it was the things we were hearing and seeing when we were kids that we are beginning to experience now. You know, when we are transiting from military to democracy by Obasanjo, I used to read newspapers a lot those times. And I was having hope that Nigeria is going to be big. But this is 20 to 24 years after. We were better in 2000 than now.
We have failed totally. We have nothing to celebrate at Nigeria at 64. If you call me tomorrow that Nigeria is at 54, I should come and celebrate, I have no reason to be there. Because I'm celebrating users. A country where a salary of minimum wage cannot buy a bag of rice. A country that before you must survive, you must have to steal. A country where somebody stole 82 billion naira as a former governor, walked into the economic and financial crime after being declared wanted, and they told him to go. They don't want him. In the night, the same EFCC went to his house and started shooting gun. Is that on Netflix?
JRAS is not the one who know for now. There's a crisis everywhere. In matches, go to market to buy things is very tough. Buy a mudu of rice is a problem. You buy a mudu of rice is a problem. Garden and so on. Food stuff is cost. The masses are not smiling. They deceive all. They say they remove the subsidy, everything will be okay. Now everything is going high every day. So is it Nigeria I know before? Even our money, there's no value for our money again.
Nigerians, we are survivors. Like whatever comes from the pandemic to the cashless policy, we are truly surviving, and there is nothing that can kill us. So no matter how worse the situation is, we'll still be alive to tell the story. But God is helping us. God is faithful, actually. God is faithful.
Wow, Nigeria at 64. Well, may God help us in Nigeria. Amen. Nigeria at 64, it looks as if it's a small baby. Because a mature person, the person of 64 is a mature person. We are not progressing. We pray that God should help us. Nigeria is not moving forward, it's moving backward. So we need God to help us.
Just that people can't voice out. People can't talk. I don't know why people cannot talk. People cannot voice out their pain. In fact, you hear protest here, and the protest will not even work. In fact, the more we protest, the more we face challenges. Fuel was 800 naira. Now we are protesting. The fuel now climbed to 1,000 something. So if we protest again, maybe the fuel will climb to 2,000. So we cannot even change anything. You understand? A system whereby even the political system is unstable. There is no aspect of Nigeria that we can claim that is standard for now.
Well, we can see that while Nigeria is celebrating our 64th Independence Day, we see that most Nigerians are not really smiling because of the situation that Nigeria is at this point. Ogochukwu, please share your thoughts about that.
64 years is a long time.
It is,
and
it is indeed.
Everyone was expecting or is expecting something good.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, you want to see the country move from where it was 64 years ago to a better place. Our parents gave us stories about how Nigeria was then, before, even by 1960. I remember my mom was talking about, my mom clocked 60 years, so this year. So it was like 4 years after independence she was born, but then she has an experience. It was during that whole independence era and everything. So she could tell, sometimes she tells us story about the whole thing. And I remember one time when she was saying, talking about fuel scarcity, and she said she cannot even believe that Nigeria is still going to be facing that up until
so back then
now.
they were actually facing
Yes, there were times they had issues with fuel, even though we didn't even have this population we have this time, but then we still had fuel scarcity. And this, I don't know, you will be more disappointed when you've lived all these years and you are expecting change, but you're not getting it.
Exactly.
Honestly.
I think one
so
of the,
yes,
the
people who are even up to 40, 50, 60, they're expressing more concern. Then talk about we that are still coming up.
True.
We are still in our 20s and maybe 30s, early 30s or so, but then we're even feeling the heat more. If you listen to many of these people, they are all talking about the economic hardship in the country. They don't expect to be facing such economic hardship at this time.
Very true.
64 years is a long years. We expect to see so many things in governance. In fact, we're expecting our government to have taken a different turn and a good one, at that.
Very
so, well, what can we say? I listened to Deborah and she said, we are survivors. We survived the pandemic. We survived Ebola. We survived so many economic hardship and so many issues, all through these years. So definitely we'll survive this one. And the president has also said that we should please bear with him. He's doing his best as he can. So let's listen to our president and let's pray. Continue to pray for Nigeria that someday Nigeria will be better. God bless Nigeria.
God
by the way,
bless Nigeria, and congratulations, Nigeria once again, 64. That's a very good.
A lot.
We'll be going on a short break now, and when we return, we have an issue that's been trending. Of course, I think you already know what it is, but do stay with us. When we return, we'll dive right into the discussion. Welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, well, I and Ogochukwu, we just finished watching about an interviews with Nigerians concerning the independence of today, and they had their opinions, and it's a really good one. It was a really good and sad one in between. Yeah. Well, before we went on a break, I told you we were going to be discussing something that is currently trending, and if you've been following the trend on virtually all social media, you would know that the very dark man, I think acronym VDM, and Bobrisky's issue has been flocking around social media. It has been back and forth for over 3-4 days now. Ogochukwu,
yes,
about
right.
3-4 days now, and it has not ended because more and more things are being unveiled
every day.
Court, court visits, and lots of
rep visits and so on and so forth.
It has been indeed a lot. Well, let's go back to how all of this started. The video that VDM released that made all of this all this shaking rather.
He shook the table.
He shook the table. All the shaking of table on social media?
That's the president, that he can do it, that if they pardon me, I can even leave here by next week. Do you understand? I don't have to wait till like beginning of next week. Okay, so the man started the pardon. If anyone wants to send it to the Minister of Justice in Abuja, so Minister of Justice will now send it to President to approve it. But you know Nigeria now, Nigeria with the corruption and everything, we take it fast to him. That the man did not, he has to collect 10 million naira for him to get that pardon will clear my name off the record. Which is not that which exactly. So there's nobody to call, because like I have friends but you don't know who's actually.
Well, that is part of the voice note. We, of course, it was longer than that. I think about 6 minutes voice note. But responding to that, in the suit, Bobrisky's lawyers alleged that Very Dark Man used their client's name and influenced for personal gains, making unsubstantiated claims about his relationships with politicians and law enforcement officials. The lawsuit further accused Very Dark Man of releasing defamatory statements without concern for Bobrisky's mental health, privacy, or constitutional rights. Bobrisky's legal team demanded that Very Dark Man deletes the audio clip immediately, and also to issue a public apology in 2 national newspapers and record a video apology to be shared across all social media platforms. The suit also, demanded that Very Dark Man cease publishing defamatory content about Bobrisky and pay the sum of 1 billion naira in damage within 24 hours. Well, there's a lot to be said about this, but to an extent, I will tell you that this is obviously my own perspective. I feel that the suit that was issued, by Bobrisky's legal team, I think it's good.
The Falana.
Yes, you need to apologize. You need to pay the sum of 1 million naira for damage, because allegedly you have damaged Bobrisky's mental health. It is not okay after seeing that voice note and everything. I think it's really a lot. This story goes way back, and
it's a big story. First of all, it started from when Bobrisky came out looking all chubby, and people started carrying it out that VDM, Very Dark Man, stayed in prison for 3 weeks and was looking all tattered and battered and looking like he has been there for like 3 years. Then Bobrisky stayed 6 months
and was looking all chubby and fresh, and
even was granting interviews and even came out with a hair laid and makeup and everything, and people started asking. That was where the problem started from. People were asking, was this guy in prison? If he was in the Kirikiri prison like everyone know, then you shouldn't be looking this glamorous coming out. So that was what led Bobrisky to, Very Dark Man to investigating. Was this guy really in prison? Because I went there, I know what I suffered. I know mosquitoes and everything. Now it is clear that yes, Very Dark Bobrisky was in prison, yes. But then, according to a statement that was released yesterday, Monday, it said, the Correctional Center, by the way, released a statement and said, a press statement saying that, yes, Bobrisky was in Kirikiri Correctional Center, but then they could not put Bobrisky in the general prison. Why? Because he has some features that show that he, like he was a lady. And you can imagine putting
that kind of person in the midst of men. It can be dangerous.
And very dangerous, myself. You get, according to him, he said there are so many persons that when they see that kind of, they're ready to devour you.
Yes,
so many guys that have been there taking hard drugs and have been there for years or months, and you don't expect to put that kind of fragile person there. I think he already has boobs, and I think he also has a plastic
BBL, at least from his physique
and all of that. So you could see, so they said they cannot put him there. And then the conversation, now this is where we even, friends, sometimes we don't even get to trust friends. This conversation was supposed to be like a private conversation, and I think he had this conversation with his friend. I mean, Bobrisky had the conversation with his friend. Then his friend leaked the voice notes. This is where we have to be careful about the kind of friends we keep. Friends that record your conversations, friends that keep all of this small thing just to use it against you. Please be careful about friends like this. So the friend leaked it out, and then it got to Very Dark Man, who is looking for revenge by all means, like as he can. And then now, before you know, he's following the story and he goes about. Now, the whole thing is, according to Bobrisky, if you listen very well to that voice note, he said if he offered 10 million naira, he could plead, it is enough to plead like for pardon, and
Pardon,
the whole
yes.
case will be closed.
Yeah.
And I think it's not like it's against the law. It's not like it is bribery. I don't think it is bribery. This is something, pardon is something that you can do. Your lawyer or whoever can stand in for you, especially your lawyer can stand in for you and pardon. There's presidential pardon.
I think that the issue with this presidential pardon and why it is going, there's an uproar about it on social media is because do people really pay for presidential pardon? And
okay.
I think that is where the false father now comes in, because according to the voice note said, Bobrisky wanted to reach out to false father, that is Femi Falana, for him to help with, grant the presidential pardon through the Ministry of Justice, and that he needed to pay a sum of money, I think about 10 to 15 million naira. And that is what is getting people confused. Like, why do you have to pay? I don't think people pay money for presidential pardon. It is something I don't know.
My dear, you're in Nigeria. You cannot just go straight and say.
I think this is
there
where
should
the
be
issue
procedures,
is.
and I think along the line, following those procedures, perhaps maybe you have to do one or two things.
Because I think that is now where the issue lies.
Okay,
and that is why Falana Chambers, they are angry and furious about it. Like, why would you drag my name into that? You can choose to do it. Because it's a sign of bribe. Because you can't.
No. I think the place where they even have an issue, aside the presidential pardon fear and all of that is going around right now on the internet, it was when Very Dark Man had to drag Falz into the issue.
Okay.
Saying, and this is a family of lawyers. You get, the father is a son. You get, and then he had to drag Falz. He said, why would Bobrisky reach out to Falz? Why are you asking Falz for a certain amount of money? And the statement he's made, it was like, does it mean that Falz they do? Now that's, when you hear that, as Nigerians, we interpret words. We are very, very sensitive with words. So when you hear Falz they do, what comes to your mind? Are you trying to insinuate that Falz is gay? What are you trying to say? Because that's where you are painting it, and that's where they had issues with. I remember there was also an Instagram, I think on tweet, a post on X, where the sister called out Very Dark Man saying, Falz's sister called out Very Dark Man saying, you have to apologize, because why call you are insinuating that my brother is gay, and there is no evidence.
True.
You understand? So they were not happy with it, and now you are dragging the father. Are you saying that he cannot be Bobrisky's lawyer? Is that what you are saying?
Well, see, I think that is not even the point. That is not exactly where they are coming from. I think they are coming from the fact, or the part where Bobrisky was actually he was brought in for money laundering. I don't think people know much about that. When the saga came up, that was when people got to realize that
they all have an idea of the money mutilation that is spraying of money and all of that.
The money mutilation that he went to prison for over 6 months. Now we're hearing about money laundering, and I think that was the main thing. The money laundering was the main issue that made him say he wanted the presidential pardon, not the money mutilation. And it's that's why it sounds like a bribe. Like you did something wrong and you need a presidential pardon for what? And you want to even go through the Ministry of Justice and through a very well-known chamber.
But is right to actually plea.
Well,
to plead for pardon. If you check the history, some persons have pleaded over the years. Okay, now
but do you plead a certain amount?
That part is where I don't know, but I know definitely we are in Nigeria, and again, when you are trying to pass through a certain procedure, definitely you must remit, whether you like it or not.
I think that remittance actually comes in a very.
If you go to the police station, you will see bail is free, but I kid you not, you will pay to bail yourself.
I think this is where the issue now lies. The fact that the voice note came out, saying that we need to pay this certain amount, and Femi Falana rather would help to, you know, with the Ministry of Justice help to grant that presidential pardon.
He has done it several times so for other persons.
I think because
so
the money,
it's not just because
that money was involved, it now made it seem like, oh, are you taking advantage
taking
of,
bribe
you know,
or
that kind of
something.
thing. And I think that was why the Falana and I think the sister, Fal's sister, even came out to address this issue, because it is more like tarnishing their image, more like, oh, well, our hands has been clean all this while, and suddenly we are staining our hands, not with anybody but with Bobrisky, a person that was brought in for money laundering. Money laundering is not a little issue.
No.
It is a big issue, and I think it's something that you can't serve just 6 months for money laundering. I think it will take years to serve in prison. If
the issue she even has more is from very. I mean, no, I'm talking about Fal's sister.
Fal's sister,
Where she even has that issue more is with Very Dark Man calling out her brother. She didn't like that. It's more like you are tarnishing the family's image, and she will quote the law for you. She even brought out a part of the law. I'm not very good with law, but she brought out a part of the law that says you can stand in, you can do all of these things. So she just feel like, my family has not done anything wrong. We were contracted for a job and we followed the job to the latter, and we make sure that our clients gets the bill that it's supposed to get. So why drag us? But then, you know, Very Dark Man is stubborn person.
That man is violent. You know, at some point,
did you see him in the House of Rep yesterday?
Oh, I did. You needed
with
to see
the whole bell ringing.
What?
First of all, I was like, what is this incantation for? Why is nobody talking to this person?
I mean, I even thought it was just like for content. Seeing that he actually went into
it's
the
part
house
of content.
with
But
that,
why will you wear? Okay, I'm okay with his outfit. You are an Edo person. You are representing very well. It's okay. But I don't even understand the other person. Is he a hype man?
because it's not.
Is he a hype man? And you have to fortify yourself before going in. Like all of those things.
You know,
are not
there's
even
just one thing I
required.
respect him for, the fact that he actually apologized to
Yes.
Falana Chambers and to
Respect.
Femi and I guess to Faust too. It shows that he has already realized his mistake, because I know he was standing his ground even before the House of Rep meeting, and I'm just glad that
He's
he has
a bold
made-
person,
of
by
course,
the way.
of
He's
course,
very, very
it's-
bold, and that's the reason why people just feel, does he have somebody somewhere? Does he have somebody somewhere?
You know-
it doesn't really have somebody. I feel like if you know your right in Nigeria, in this country, or anywhere, you stand for it. You definitely get justice.
Exactly.
That's the thing. Sometimes we just sheepishly walk away from things that we know we can face and get the results. But he is very, very bold, and he calls you out with his full chest.
I like what he did, really. And at some point I felt he would not even show up, in court.
Why?
But I was shocked that it was the Bobrisky that issued the 1 billion naira, defamation,
Yes.
right? He didn't show up. And there were a lot of.
Bobrisky is going through a lot
They
right
say
now. Leave Mommy of
They say
Lagos.
he's not feeling fine.
Yes,
And
in fact, there
because-
was. I think he posted. So sorry to cut you short. He posted something on Instagram, and he was like, "For the first time, I'm thinking suicidal. I've never in my life think suicidal." Okay, normally we will laugh at these things, but honestly, I won't lie to you. I'm a very emotional person, and when things like this are just happening, and you don't even know what to do at some point. Right now, your friend betrayed you by leaking that video or that voice.
I know that friend even asked for 4 million naira.
We shouldn't take things like this for granted. When people post
Of
things
course,
like this,
of course.
he can really be thinking suicidal. You never know. You never know. So I really want to say, Bobrisky, please do not kill yourself. You are the
do
Mommy of
not.
Lagos. We still love your content. We love you.
Okay.
And to Very Dark Man, the justice you want, I pray you get it. And I just want to thank your humility for apologizing to a very reputable person and the Chambers. But then, that is not all. Though. Remember, Twitter is burning. Sorry, I keep saying Twitter. X, formerly Twitter, by the way, is burning. And a lot of persons are saying so many things. But we just have few comments because of our time. So I'll be diving right to X. So come with me, let's go. So we have our first comments here. First comment is coming from P. Gracie. P. Gracie says, nobody's talking about the fact that he was telling a close friend what you went through and said friend published the video. Friends, indeed. This person just said what I was talking about.
Just like
friends,
that,
yes.
Because
friends.
don't just say you had that conversation with someone
With your
and actually
friend, someone,
trusted.
yes, you're confident or something. And
No,
then,
I was about saying something before you started the Twitter comment.
Okay.
I said the person even asked for a certain amount, I think about 4 million naira. according to what we were seeing on social media. And because Bobrisky could not, I think, pay the amount or something, that the person released that voice note.
You can imagine.
To very dark.
You can imagine.
It's really sad. It's really
You can
sad.
imagine.
Because at that point of his life, I think he was in need, and that's why he was trying to relate
Yes,
to
yes.
that
Oh
friend.
God, I really feel for Bobrisky at this
too.
point. Okay, the next comment is coming from Big Plug. Big Plug says, you spent 6 months in a serviced apartment just to come out and start granting interviews within a week. This should tell you he never spent 6 months in prison. If he was really in prison, he would have taken his time before seeking all these social media validations. But this is Nigeria, where the rich get away with anything.
Very true. Very
Like we
true.
said again, you came out. You just came out.
And said granting
did you see? Did you? Is it what was he even celebrating?
had,
where he had to make is it 20 million or 40 million naira cake?
Are you serious?
Like a G-Wagon, yes,
Wow.
kind of cake. I think he was celebrating his coming out of Keri Keri
You know,
prison or something.
we are not even ready to talk about this issue
Bobrisky
because
is too
the
loud.
first thing we even need to talk about is the fact that Gofal said he even called him to ask for 3 million naira to secure a VIP prison. Nigeria Correctional Service, there is VIP prison. Okay, it's okay.
There should be now.
Oh, there is.
Hold your money, you go VIP. Do you want to go to prison?
And for someone, well, okay, well, what now?
If you want to go to prison, hold your money so that you can enjoy VIP prison with AC.
I'm sure.
And maybe a makeup artist by the
yeah,
side.
okay, it is well.
So this one is coming. The next one is coming from Prince Land. Prince Land says, between VDM, which is Very Dark Man, and Bobrisky, who should face detention now? One obeyed the National Assembly order and the other one disobeyed. And you are threatening the one that presented himself? Okay, Bobrisky did not show up in the
courts.
Not just even courts. They invited him.
Yeah.
He did not show up.
Said he was sick, allegedly.
Okay, anyway, he was sick. Bobrisky, please get well soon and go face whatever
That's
it is you have
sarcasm.
started.
That's sarcasm.
No. He should get well soon and go and face it because he started it. How can you just come out of prison and you not lie low? I mean, I lay low.
Now that you're out of prison and your voice note is flying around, you are not feeling
you
fine.
will go down. You will go
Okay.
down first and be following everything small. Watch what is happening small.
Yeah.
And let people be filling you in, giving you the gist, not you being very
Out.
loud. You
Wow.
understand? Well, this next one is coming from Sir David. Sir David Onyemaizu. He says, VDM is smart. Resolve the so-called defamation issues with the Falaners. Heavens won't fall after this apology. Focus on the main issue at hand. Idris Okunye, which is Bobrisky, 50 million bribery and money laundering charge that would drop by the EFCC, and the fact he never went to prison. So many people still believe that he never went to prison. But then, thank God the Correctional Center came out to say he went to prison,
You know,
but then a VIP lodge.
Exactly. And you know, we did not even talk about the fact that he was trying to bribe an EFCC official, I think about 2 or 3 of them. If I think he even mentioned their name for 15 million naira to drop the charges. Not even presidential, to drop the charges.
wow,
So
but
that
this
also came out in the voice note. You know, so it is a lot right now on Bobrisky,
really
and
feel
everybody's
for him,
focusing now on VDM. I'm telling you that very soon, just give it 2-3 days, VDM's issue will lie low and everybody will face Bobrisky. So the earlier he shows up in court, the better for him.
of
Really,
course.
really.
It is well with you, Bobrisky. Let's continue again. This last one is coming from Boise. Boise says, if I be one of Falaners and Very Dark Man slanders my family name like this, and there's no skeleton in our cupboard, I will pursue the case to the last. There's nothing like bro to bro apologies. Can they? Will they? Have they? Only time will tell. Well, that's it for our social media comments from X, formerly Twitter. Can they? Will they? Only time will tell. So the only thing I will tell you is just stick with us on Random. Time will tell. I would definitely trust us to give you spicy gist. We're not going to drop this gist here. As they are following it, we say we are following it. So happy independence one more time, Nigeria. From I and Sharon Ache was saying bye-bye.